we're lots of people. We're 10 people today. My family, we're 13. These are new tables. They just arrived yesterday.
Oh, wow.
The day before, so I got coffee around here because it still smells like wood and varnish a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't bother anybody too much. I'll be back in just a minute. Yeah, vengo. So this area here, once we got this up here to be able to serve lunches and to use for other activities, we had the same problem. Yeah, now we've got this area to sit here, but we need a roof on it too. So I put this roof on this one, and I repurposed the garage door opener so this side can slide under here when it's sunny. It's not too sunny as you. To clean. And if you want to wash your hands at any time before you dry them on your aprons, there's 2 sinks here where you can wash your hands. Okay. So this one is really sour. Has anybody had it? Eaten it here as anything?
I think we did a fruit market the other day.
Okay.
Like a fruit market tasting.
Okay. And did you eat it with any other ways? Has anybody eaten it like in a drink or not yet? There's a drink from Cali called Lulada, which they use with condensed milk and ice in Lulo. It's very good in like hard drinks. You can actually buy Smirnoff Lulo now directly in a bottle that already has Lulo in it. Countries they can be quite sour. Here they're very a clean taste. It's almost like a watery apple or pear.
Maybe a little bit.
You can eat all the skin, the seeds, everything is okay. English name from somebody that came to a class like you guys from New Zealand. Supposedly, Colombian brought the seeds to New Zealand because it's from this region, and they did well there. And now it's a regular fruit in New Zealand and Australia. And its English name is tamarillo.
Tamarillo.
We have these growing on the property we rent in Boquete.
Oh, nice.
Do you, with this, is it often eaten raw or cooked? Because the seeds are kind of hard.
So they would usually make juice with it, and it has a lot of stigma here. You can't eat these seeds. These ones aren't too hard. There's also a hybrid one that may have harder seeds. I'm not sure what we gave in the biodigester as well. So it has 2 names here. One is Curuba Redonda. There's another Curuba that looks like a little banana, and when you open it up, it's got all the seeds in dark orange. And they usually make juice with that with milk. It's really bitter if you eat the seeds. These ones you can eat the seeds, no problem. Crunch on them, suck on them. Its other name is Gulupa. And they grow here, they're exported around the world. So we checked a little while ago in Europe, it was like €2 in France for one, €3 in Poland. Here I buy a bag of like 25, 30 of them for 75 cents. Wow. So take advantage while you're here. They're pretty when you look at them. The flavor is very nostalgic and addictive because
Oh yeah, we had.
fruit, it's a cheap fruit, yeah, that's delicious too. Here when you go to the market and like the fruit tasting, you didn't have it there? No?
We did, yeah. I
You
just
did?
have the name.
A lot of times they like hit it on their elbow, on their head.
We did the elbow, yeah.
So I like to do it with my finger. It's like you can hear a little satisfying crunch there. It's like bubble wrap. We can do it afterwards too. But if I do that and open it in the class, all the fruit goes to one side. So I use a knife in the class to make sure everybody gets some fruit.
Oh yeah, we had that too. Yeah.
So this one is not sour at all. Everybody's here, okay. So we're gonna work in. You guys are gonna work in 2. You guys are gonna work in 2. You guys are working in 2. Jose, aquí. Some restaurants now that are improving their menus, especially for vegetarians and vegans. I just want to make sure we had just one person that doesn't eat meat, correct? One, and we had someone that doesn't eat cucumber, I think. And any other restrictions? Fish, but we're not doing fish, exactly.
Just cheese for me.
Cheese, we got no cheese today either, so we're good. Perfect. So, that's what some people ask, what's the menu? Always the menu. It's most of the time I do this menu these days because I'm not doing it very often, and because it's easy to adapt to no meat, no dairy, no gluten, so many different things I do with this menu that just makes it easy for most people. So I'm just gonna ask if you can pass me, ahí abajo hay como unos boles metálicos chiquitos.
¿Cuánto necesitas?
Dos. No, los metálicos. If it's dry, then it could already be dried out and start fermenting inside, and then you're not going to be able to use it. Yeah. If it's really light, this is probably going to be thinner, and you're not going to get as much coconut for the same price, because that's always the price.
Is that always mature coconut?
These are mature, yeah. So this is the shell. Yeah. This is when you take off the shell. This is fiber. It's completely edible. So when they do it here and they want to open it, they'll put a screw in the top to put a hole in, and then pour out the water, which you can drink or cook with. Then they'll turn on the gas on the stove, put it on the stove, and let it heat up until it cracks, and then they'll take the shell off. I don't do it that way for a couple reasons. Time-wise, I gotta wait for it to heat up, and then I'm dealing with a hot coconut in my hand that I gotta try and open. So what I do is I take a hammer, I hold it like this in the center way with the holes up at the top or the bottom. I hit it on each side until it cracks, take out the water, then I turn it so that crack is horizontal. I hit it on the top, and it usually breaks in 2 or 3 pieces. Turn it over, do the same thing, and then I get pieces about this size. And so when I've got this and I want to take the shell off, I find if you leave it outside for an hour or so before you do it, it's gonna dry up a little bit, and it's often easier to separate it from the shell. I use a knife that's got a round end so that's not sharp, and if it slips it's going to cut my hand. And I also be careful with the shell itself, can have little points on it, so you want to make sure you don't cut yourself with that. And I'm just going to stick the point of the knife between the meat and the shell and just kind of slide it around until it pops out. Sometimes it'll break, sometimes it'll come out complete, yeah? It might be a little bit harder when you do it the first time. Don't write and say, Brian, you said it was easy. With practice, it becomes easier, yeah? And it just depends on the coconut. But if you do have questions or challenges with anything when you're back home and you're cooking, feel free to write me from 3 sides on them, 2 flat and a round one. I put it on a flat side so that it has an edge up, and you can hit it hard if you want, but it makes a lot of noise if you've got a kid sleeping upstairs. And it's just as satisfying to put the knife on top and push down. Listen. Yeah? And then the one side where it was connected to the rest is there, the other side has a little tail on it. You just grab the tail, pinch, and you can pull off the skin. And it's really easy. Then we're going to do the same as what I was doing with the green. I'm just going to do that same movement. And I'm going to cut it the long way first in little pieces. I'm doing the same movement but smaller, yeah? Turn it 90 degrees and we'll go the other way. And we want it to be nice, chopped fine today, okay? So I'm gonna give everybody some garlic. This one, you can put it in there. Ripe one, it's not a big deal. You can cut the ends off, peel it, whatever way you want. But when it's green, if you cut off the ends, this ooze comes out of it and it sticks to everything and it's horrible. Even if you put it whole in a pot and boil it, it's going to stick to the pot. So to avoid that ooze, I'm going to open this as if it was a green one so you can see how to avoid it. It's in the ends, yeah? So I look at the plantain and I say it starts roughly there and ends roughly there. I'm going to stick the tip of the knife in it below that point and pull down and stop before I get to the other end. Then I open it with my thumbs. It's a little bit more difficult when it's green, obviously. I've seen some people, they'll take a knife and just kind of push it like that if it's too hard. Then I stick my thumbs underneath and push the plantain out, and then this would have all of the ooze in it still, and just throw that out. Yeah, so I'll do another one. Who cuts the plantains at home? Him or you?
Oh, actually,
2001. Cool pick. And so we transitioned from the dark room to the computer.
nearly as fun.
No, very different. And because I had computer skills and graphic design, then they made me do like the lime. Then I can see inside what I'm dealing with. Cut down the other sides, even cut off some of the rib at the same time. Pick it up, cut off the little points there. And then I got most of the seeds. They had to go in the garbage and not all over my board, yeah? When I'm cutting these, it's got a rib there. Skin down always again so it doesn't slide up the knife off of the skin. At the end, like your mango was sticking there, just make sure when you get to the end, just push a little bit on the back and that'll cut through it. When I get to the rib, I just turn it upwards and then I can cut the rib off and throw that out. Some people say it gives them indigestion. And then these we're just going to throw in there too, okay? You ate the big butt ants? But you guys wanted to raise it.
That's just to try the local
These are
foods.
for you guys when we have our rice. I'm gonna mix this in with the rest of it, and so all the part that was crunchy that's stuck on the sides, you can see it there. Big out, exactly. We're going
So
to.
only Dominicans say coco?
I mean, every place is not every place, but some places say different things.
See, they say cocayo in the coast as well, and pegao they say in Bogota. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna let you smell it now, and I'm gonna put the lid back on it and leave it there on the stove for a few minutes, and that's gonna soften up the pegao, so we can mix it in and everybody gets to taste it, eat it with the rice. Smell that? It's really simple, but delicious.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's all. I learned this from Yupin in Bangkok. This was her one dish business in the streets. She would take it for one person at a time, cut everything up in her hand. She doesn't have a cutting board or anything. And then she'd throw it in a mortar and pestle like the one up there on the right, which is clay and wood. And she pounds it a little bit. She's not crushing it into a green curry. She's just breaking up the fibers so that the sauce, the liquid comes out of the mango and all the other vegetables and it mixes in with the lime and you get a nice little natural vinaigrette. So I'm gonna, because it's too much to put in there, I'm gonna replicate it with my hands, which I just washed. First, I'm gonna mix everything up so that it's all evenly distributed. See all the pretty things that we created. It's a lot more solid than it looked like on the table before, no? You can already smell it probably in front of me.
So bright.
Yeah, looks like some Brazilian colors or Caribbean. And now I'm gonna start squeezing it to replicate the pounding. And so this is just gonna break up the fibers a bit on the mango. You're gonna see them go from stiff to a little bit softer. We don't wanna squeeze it into a sauce, obviously. It smells really good. When people have been here for a while, they're always craving fresh fruits and vegetables, so they usually love this salad. What's that?
Southern name, Spanish.
The dish? Ropa vieja. Yeah. Old clothes in English.
Old clothes.
Why is it called old clothes? I don't know. I think like in Chile and Argentina, for example, they'll use the meat that's left over from the asado the day before and then make this dish. And it's torn up meat, so maybe it looks like torn up clothes. I don't know. So now you can see as I mix this up, all the juice in the bottom is getting mixed in. It's nice and shiny. I'm just gonna get it here for a second. These dishes, after everybody served themselves, this one, if there's any mushroom left, it'll go in here. So the juice
The
also
finished
doesn't have any
box.
sugar, it's just pineapple and maracuya. The pineapple is sweet, and then it balances with the maracuya.
The view from Brian, the chef's house, on the roof. There's train station or tram station. Wow.